they are removing, 40 to 50%, 50+% of the buy volume every day. They're taking that volume onto their books. You can only do that for so long. And what that does is that means that the sale volume prints to the market. Driving the price down. This is not an infinite thing they can do. And it's not cheap. Are they also not hedging calls? I mean, they're probably not hedging calls appropriately, but there's not a lot of calls at this price. It's not like retail's buying in the money call options. Because they have a lot of FTDs, they want to try to cover them at a price that's as cheap as possible. Right? So they can short it down, withhold buy orders from the lit market. Short, distort. Use in the money puts. And when they've covered a sufficient number of FTDs, they'll let all that buy, all of that buy pressure release onto the market. How's that not an infinite thing? They don't have infinite money. Happy crappy. It's just market making. Internalized buy pressure ends up coming through in DP blocks. Yes, should, yeah. If it was infinite, we'd be at 0. It costs whatever the price is of GME's trading price per share internalized. In addition to leveraged positions. The Fidelity pool of shortable shares just doubled. Is there a time frame on how long they can withhold buy orders? I mean, they can do it as long as their prime is going to give them margin to do it, which is limited. At what point is Fidelity a dishonest actor? I mean, the hatred of Fidelity is just arbitrary because they have, because we can see their borrowable shares. And so people are just mad at them. But it's the people in Fidelity that own those shares that are lending them out. Believe it or not, and I'll say this again, there are probably long-term investors in GameStop who have no problem lending their shares out. One could argue that it threw the short inflation theory out the window. It's wrong to assume the hedgie's main focal point of gaming revolves around IV. I'm trying to construct a formula for analyzing gaming specifically on GME's standard deviation. Interesting. Hey, mods, Biter and Han and Secure, if any of them continue to post any type of shitty GIF in any of the chats besides the shitposting channel, kick them. Don't ban them, but kick them. Can you highlight, screenshot and DM me the specific section you're referring to? You think they will try to cover this week or next? I don't know. I'm still working on determining if they can even cover next week. I assumed a settlement date of T+2, but they may not have any time. Oh, awesome. Delivery. 3 business days after the last trading day for an expired contract, National Securities Clearing Corporation Depository Trust Corporation will facilitate delivery of and payment for the underlying common stock. American Depository Receipts, shares of exchange-traded funds, shares of closed-end management investment companies, or trust-issued receipts, whereby a seller, a holder of the net short position, delivers the securities underlying contract to a respective buyer, i.e. the holder of a net long position, and in exchange that buyer pays his respective seller the aggregate dollar amount of the expiration day settlement price multiplied by the quantity of the underlying securities delivered. Holy shit. Hey, Steve. That's the kind of shit I like to see. Clip. I feel like sometimes you guys just have me clip arbitrary things. Currently, I'm looking at... I'm not going to do it anytime soon. So I just want to make this really fucking clear because a lot of people got super confused about this yesterday. I have no intention of rolling my options until after January 25th. And all but 10 of my current options contracts are for February 18th. But if I do roll in the event that nothing occurs by January 25th and I decide to roll forward my contracts, I am going to roll my deep out of the money calls to Feb. What was the date? 25th. So anything 200 plus. Then anything below 200 that's still retaining value. I'm going to roll out to March 18th. That's pretty simple.
Kenny's Mayonnaise is a proud sponsor of Pickle Financial, so when you get a hankering for some creamy, delicious mayo after a long night of snorting, sweating, and pacing, grab some Kenny's.